Thank you very much. Lovely. Thank you for the introduction. So it was on Hungarian national TV, but yeah, didn't make it to the BBC, unfortunately. So why am I here? Well, I don't know if people follow the releases of Tableau very closely, but recently there was a update, and there's a new functionality in Tableau to do with creating points and creating lines within Tableau. So this is kind of a really powerful way of using spatial data, whereas before you maybe had to use an ETL tool, so an extract, transform, and load tool, to create your spatial objects, or you could use Tableau's kind of integrated functionality with kind of like knowing where London is and where different parts of the world are. It's not quite as robust as it could have been, but Tableau have implemented a few really good features to let you do that kind of analysis. So going back to Ultimate Frisbee, I've been kind of all over the place, and I wanted to kind of create a dashboard that just showed where I'd been. So I have my kind of European trips and my worldwide trips here, and I just wanted to be able to kind of plot all of these and then just be able to see it and just like basically make a note. It's kind of easy to forget where you've been, and yeah, it's nice to do. So how do you do this? And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. So the first step is, what does your data need to look like? So that's the data modeling part. Then I'm going to go through the new functionality in Tableau, so creating points and creating lines. And then finally, I'm just going to go through creating the chart. So modeling your data, you need, it might be quite hard to see from the back, so I'll just speak through it. But you need, in order to create the flight paths, you need where you're starting from. So you need the latitude and the longitude of where you're starting from, and also the end latitude and longitude. And that will let you create your flight paths. But then I don't know if you saw on my viz, I had little dots for the cities. So to do that, you actually need to replicate your data and then add in this kind of centroid latitude and longitude bit here. And I'll get into that in a second. So that's kind of the modeling of your data. To put the centroids on, this is where we start using that functionality. So the make point function in Tableau is really powerful. So it's super simple to use. You just need to wrap in a make point function your start latitude and your start longitude, and that will create your spatial object for you. So rather than having to determine a geographic role for the name of the dimension, you can just do this if you have the latitude and longitude. It's really powerful. After you've done that, it's just a case of you'll have your dimension pill, and you can just double click on that, and it will automatically load your longitude and latitude on. And then it's just a case of putting your centroid on the map, and you've got your data visualized on a map. So it's super quick to do. It takes about a couple of minutes to do. Then the next part is mapping your flight paths. So this is, again, very simple. So I've replicated the same thing as I did for my start centroid with my endpoints to create another centroid. And then it's just wrapping those two spatial objects, those two centroids, within a make line function. And then again, you just double click on that, and it automatically loads, and you put your flight path onto detail, and you get this. And the great thing about this part of the functionality is you used to be able to do this by having two lines and then using a line, but it would be a straight line. And now you get a very nice curve, which looks quite nice. So the final step is just grounding the flight path. So I talked about having both of the dots, so the centroids, and also the lines on the chart at the same time. So to do that, you can create a dual axis in Tableau. If you're familiar with the use of the software, you do that by just you basically drag the latitude pill onto you create another latitude pill, and that will give you two charts. You'll get two different marks cards. On one of them, you put your flight path, and then on the other, you put your centroid. And then you can create a dual axis, and then really quickly kind of create this visualization. And so to tie it back in, this is kind of like the final formatted version of it. So yeah, thanks very much. That's the new functionality. It was released in 2019.2 for people who are interested. If you have any questions, just give me a shout. Thank you.